Chapter 8, Sources and a Final Word. This episode has drawn on primary sources from both scripture and science. A few essential guides for those who want to explore further. For the science-faith relationship, John Lennox's God's Undertaker, has science buried God? Is the most rigorous scholarly treatment of the evidence for design and the limitations of materialist explanations of the cosmos. Lennox is a mathematician at Oxford and a committed Christian. He writes with the precision of a scientist and the conviction of a believer. For the biblical anticipation of scientific discovery, Chuck Missler's Learn the Bible in 24 Hours collects many of the biblical scientific parallels discussed in this episode in accessible form. Ivan Panin's work on the mathematical structure of biblical texts, the Bible codes, is more controversial but mathematically serious. For quantum physics and its philosophical implications, Jim Al-Khalili's Quantum, the Guide for the Perplexed, provides the best accessible introduction to the physics. For its philosophical implications, Paul Davies's The Mind of God and the Goldilocks Enigma explore what modern physics implies about the nature and origin of the universe. For the medical anticipation in Scripture, S.I. Macmillan and David Stern's None of These Diseases is the most thorough survey of biblical medical prescriptions and their subsequent scientific vindication. For neurocardiology, the HeartMath Institute's research publications and Rolling McCraty's The Energetic Heart provide the scientific basis for the heart-brain connection described in Chapter 5. And for the cosmological convergence, the universe with a beginning, Robert Jastrow's God and the Astronomers remains the most honest account of a secular scientist confronting the theological implications of the Big Bang. A final word. The purpose of this episode is not to prove the Bible. It is to demonstrate that the dismissal of the Bible as pre-scientific mythology does not survive honest examination. The evidence for the scientific accuracy of Scripture is real, it is specific, and it deserves to be taken seriously by anyone who claims to follow the evidence wherever it leads. The great physicist Richard Feynman once said, "I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers which might be wrong." The Bible is not afraid of that spirit. It was the first text in human history to say, "Come, let us reason together." It was the first to say that the invisible is more fundamental than the visible. It was the first to say that the universe had a beginning, that the earth hangs in empty space, that the life of the creature is in the blood. It has been saying, for 3,000 years, look at the evidence. Follow it. Do not be afraid of where it leads. The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech, night after night they reveal knowledge. They have no speech, they use no words, no sound is heard from them. Yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. Psalm 19 verses 1-4. The evidence is in. The testimony is consistent. The verdict belongs to you.